Hello chaps, welcome to John Robson Guitar Tuition once again as always. I do hope you're well. I've got another handy little wiring modification you can do to your guitar today. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple and it's cheap, and by doing this you are going to vastly extend the range of usable sounds from your guitar. It's such an easy and quick thing to do and such a low cost option. It sort of puzzles me why guitars aren't all made like this in the factory, but they aren't, so here we go. If you've ever dialed in an overdriven sound on your amp and then tried to use the guitar's volume control to clean it up to get a little bit more of an organic transition from an overdriven dirty sound back to a clean sound and vice versa, then chances are you'll have noticed what happens is that immediately all of your treble disappears from your sound. It's like someone's thrown a duvet over your amp because it sounds muffled, it sounds woolly and not particularly pleasant or usable. Now there is a very simple reason why this happens, and there's also a very simple modification you can do to stop it happening. Pay attention, here's the science bit. Okay, this is pretty much your standard wiring diagram for a guitar volume control. Now, the reason why when you turn the control down that you lose all your treble frequencies is because the output lead, the lead that connects your guitar to the amplifier, is acting like a capacitor. A capacitor is just two conductive plates or wires or whatever separated by an insulator, and then when you turn the volume control down, the volume control is actually a form of resistor. It's a variable resistor which we call a potentiometer or pot. When you turn that down, the resistor comes into circuit, and when you have a capacitor and resistor in circuit together in this way, you get a high-pass filter, which effectively shunts your treble frequencies to earth instead of going down the tube to the amp. The cure for this is quite simple. We simply install another capacitor and another resistor across the terminals of the volume control like this. And what this does is it creates another high-pass filter which allows your treble frequencies to bypass the volume control and therefore go down the pipe to the amplifier and not sound muddy. So there you go, that's what's going on. Okay, so what I did on this guitar, this is my latest acquisition, a Harley Benton Fusion Pro. What I did was I went to Axes R Us. There's a link in the description box below, and you can go there and buy this Treble Bleed kit, as it's called. It's just a capacitor and a resistor as described in the previous clip, and you just solder them across the tags on your volume control. Basically you solder it between the tag where the input from the selector switch goes to and the output to the cable goes to, and it just transforms the usable range of sounds from your guitar. To show you what I mean, here's a short before and after demonstration. In this demonstration here, I'm using a fairly chunky overdriven sound. You can see the settings on the Vox Tone Lab that I'll be using. And then I roll the volume control right the way off to try and clean up the sound, and it doesn't sound particularly pleasant. So that's the before clip. This is the after clip. This is what happens when you've installed that treble bleed capacitor resistor high pass filter kit. Sounds like this. So I think you'll agree that that really does improve the sound of the guitar when you roll the volume off. You're not going to be able to go from Slipknot or Avenged Sevenfold style dirty sound right the way to a Hank Marvin clean sound, but that's not what we're talking about here. This is just kind of rolling the volume control off a little bit to go from your dirty overdriven lead guitar sound down to something that's a little bit more strumming friendly, basically. And as I say, it takes absolutely no time to do. It costs less than £5 for the components, and it does kind of puzzle me why this modification isn't just pre-installed in every guitar in the factory, because it makes things better. In fairness, some manufacturers like PRS do this, but the majority don't. Now then, this guitar here, as I mentioned, is my latest acquisition. This is a Harley Benton Fusion Pro, and if you like the look of this guitar and you want to own one for yourself and help a good cause at the same time, then I have one of these for sale. Basically, in case you don't already know, I'm running a campaign called Guitars for Good Causes, where you guys can donate to the GoFundMe page that's in the description box below. I then use those donations to buy guitars, which I then review on this channel. And once reviewed, the guitars get sold, with proceeds going to Zoe's Place Baby Hospice, which is a charity in Middlesbrough that provides palliative, respite and end-of-life care to children under 5 with terminal illnesses. It's a very worthy cause, and I'm incredibly proud to support them. So if you want to own a guitar like this, then just get your bids into me. You can see the email address on screen. Tell me how much you're going to be prepared to pay for a Harley Benton Fusion Pro that's had, all the setup work and everything done on it. I haven't done that treble bleed mod on it, by the way, because there are some people out there who just, I guess, don't like it. They like the guitar to kind of sound a bit duller when they turn the volume down. Anyway, if you want to own one of these guitars, get your bid into me by the 12th of November. Then I will inform the winning bidder, and what you do, if that is you make a donation to Zoe's Place and send me confirmation of that donation, and then I send you the guitar. If you are outside the UK, then please contact me first before bidding, because we may need to have a little bit of a chat about shipping costs and so on. It can get quite expensive sending a guitar overseas, I'm afraid to say. So yes, if you want to check out the review of this guitar and hear what sounds it's capable of even without that modification, then there's a link to that in the description box below as well, so check it out. It was such an impressive review that I did of it. I was so impressed with it in the review that I actually bought one for myself as well. This one's mine. The review guitar that somebody else is going to end up owning is boxed up, ready to ship. All you got to do is put your bid in and it could be yours. And with that, I'll just give you the usual plug for my guitar tuition bread and butter. This is what pays the rent, or the mortgage rather, and puts food on the table. If you would like some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition, then get in touch with me via the details at the end of this video. If you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, you can have a face-to-face lesson. You can come along and we can sit here in this very room and chat about guitars and such like. Or wherever you are in the world, you can have a lesson via Skype, and whichever way you do it, your first lesson is free, so you got nothing to lose. So I'll leave it there for today. Thanks for watching, folks. Thanks very much for your time, and I'll look forward to seeing you all again next time round. Bye for now, folks.